Guys, what is up? We are in the truck. Right now, the bed of the truck is empty, but it won't be. If you guys see the thumbnail, you know I got something. So, and I have a Kawasaki shirt on. So, we found what I think is a really rare find on Facebook Marketplace. So it's about 50 miles from me. So I'm just leaving to drive there now. It's a 2008 Kawasaki. It's a KFX 450R. What caught my eye about it is it's all original owner, non-tampered with, seems to be fairly pristine based on the photos. It's got original tires, everything's original on it, the stock muffler, nothing's been altered that I know, that I'm aware of, and from what the guy says. So we'll see when I get there. He said he basically bought it for his kids back in the day. They never rode it. It sat in his garage. He takes it out every couple months just to keep gas going through it and keep everything lubed up and it running and not just sitting, and rotting away. And other than that, it doesn't really get used. So it's got very low hours on it. I mean, the engine, from the photos, zooming in on them, the best you can. The engine, the foot pegs even have most of the paint on them. Like just the top edges of the pegs have the black paint worn off. So it looks really clean. This is based on photos, obviously. I might get there and maybe a dud, or may have a little more wear than I thought. But if it's like he says and it checks out, we'll be bringing this thing home. So chances are, though, if you've seen the video, I brought it home. I'm not going to just post this and have an empty truck to show you. So let's get to it, I suppose. All right, guys, here she is. Got her home. This is exactly how I picked it up. So I did not at all. I didn't wash it. I didn't wipe it down. I didn't do anything to it. I unloaded it off the truck. And here it is. So I'm gonna show you guys exactly what I seen when I went and picked it up. And as you're gonna be able to see, the guy didn't wash it or really polish it up to try and sell it. It was kind of, like he said, seems like it was just sitting in his garage a lot. He would take it out, every once in a while, take it up the block, just keep the oil flowing through it and keep everything lubed up and moving. And other than that, it didn't really get much use. So he wrote it early on, he said. That was the story I got from him. He had bought it brand new in 08. I have the paperwork from when he bought it. I'm going to show you guys. It's pretty cool. And he wrote it a little bit. And then he was going to ride with his kids, I guess, or whatever. Something happened with his marriage or what have you. Kids moved, I'm guessing, with the wife. And the quad never really got any use. It kind of sat. So he would take it out once in a while. And he said just from sitting, he replaced the battery twice. So it's got the battery in it now is 2 years old. And that was the first thing I noticed when I walked up to it, was the battery cover missing and some hardware. In which I have it all. I'm going to show you guys that in a minute. He just had the battery out of it. He had it on a trickle charger. So we'll see how that battery holds up. It is 2 years old and, it hasn't gotten much use. So we may have to change that again. But overall, this thing is really, really clean. I mean, the graphics even, there's nothing wrong with them. The KFX stickers, all the decals are in top shape. The plastics are in really good shape. There's a couple small scuffs, on the back fenders. A lot of it, though, some of it I was rubbing with my finger, and it looks like it's kind of like a rubbery scuff. He said he used to give his kids a ride, he would ride it around. Kid would sit behind him, and their shoes would be hitting the fenders and stuff. So that's kind of what it looks like. It's a lot of shoe marks on the fenders there. I think I could polish a lot of that out, but the decals are all there. It's even got all the original caution labels, on it still. The seat is in perfect condition. Softer than I thought it would be. Everybody, even the original review of this machine, said how the seat was hard as a 2x4. Now, it's definitely not soft like a Raptor, but I'm used to sitting on dirt bikes these days, so this is fairly soft considering. So, original tires on it, original chain and sprocket. Everything is pretty much, even the air filter is original. It's got the airbox cover still. I'll pop the seat off. I'll show you guys here in a second. Everything works. I started it, let it idle, let it warm up. I took it up and down the block, went through all the gears. The reverse works. Reverse on these things are so cool. You just literally push that in and push down on your, you don't even have to take your hands off the handlebars. Push that in and click down on the shift lever and you're in reverse. Click it back up and you're in first. So that's really cool. So after riding it, I pulled it back into his driveway. I kind of let it idle for a while. I wanted to make sure it didn't either overheat and or the fan kicked on. And it took a long time, and then the fan finally kicked on. So it seems like the bike runs, like they weren't as lean back then as the bikes come from the factory now. Like you could buy a new Raptor or a new YFZ. They're so lean that they have decel pop right out of the box, you know, without doing anything to them. So this thing was running great. I don't want to keep running it, and I'm not going to until I get some maintenance items in. So the air filter, like I said, is original, and it's literally falling apart. Like if you pull it back or touch it, it starts crumbling. It's like just old and deteriorating. So I don't want to keep running it with that. I ordered new chain and sprockets just because of age. The sprockets actually don't look too bad. He could tell that's really the only heavy filth on the machine. He obviously lubed the hell out of the chain, and it's just, you know, flung all over the place. So we'll get that all cleaned up. But I wanted to show you guys what it looked like when I picked it up. And then the chain, although it seems fine, it is an O-ring chain, you know, from the factory. So it's a 2008. Chances are those O-rings in there are probably dry rot and falling apart. So better safe than sorry. But the sprockets, you'll see, they're actually not in bad shape. So I think this is a pretty low hour machine. If I had to guess, I would say it's maybe 40 hours. I mean, it's original tires. They still have life on them. We're not going to keep these, obviously. We'll get some tires, but, you know, everything is in really good shape. There's age-related things, like the bushings that go in the bolts. There's like rubber bushings in there that hold the taillight in there, and they're just dry rot, so the light has a little wiggle. I went on Rocky Mountain ATV last night, and they have all the parts still in stock. So I ordered all that stuff. I ordered the new bushings for the taillight, so get rid of that wiggle. We'll replace those, the like rubber grommets that go in there. I ordered a new chain and OEM sprockets. I ordered a new air filter. I ordered some oil filters. And then there's one decal that's a little messed up that I want to replace and clean up. The hood cowl here by the instruments, the lights. That decal's a little worn, so I ordered a replacement decal for that, so be all back to like brand new. And this is really the only mark on the plastics here. This is like a little gouge. I'm gonna try to clean that up. I could always order a new fender, but I think I can clean that up pretty good where it doesn't look too bad. And I also ordered a new spark plug because he said it's original, which is crazy. Original spark plug. The antifreeze, the coolant reservoir, it's all original coolant. Now, I have the owner's manual, and the owner's manual, it says it's a lifetime coolant, but I never heard of a lifetime coolant before, so I'm probably going to drain that and replace it. It's just green antifreeze in there, so we'll get that out. And then that's it, just like kind of cosmetic and tune-up things. That's what I ordered. So it's chain sprockets, air filter, spark plug. I got some oil filters, the decal, the rubber grommets. Oh, the only thing that's broken on it is the rear skid right here on the bottom of the swing arm. So I ordered, the OEM one was $21. So I ordered a new OEM one. So that's from Rocky Mountain ATV as well. So we'll get that on there and give it a good bath. And then then we'll take it on its first ride. So I'm gonna do another video once I get all that stuff freshened up and give it a good wash, polish up the plastics a little bit, make it look really nice, and then we'll take it on its first ride and get like a first ride reaction on it. I just want to give the bike a good once over, not really run it with that air filter that's falling apart either, and the oil in there is God knows how old. So I want to get some fresh fluids in it, fresh air filter, spark plug, and go from there. He did tell me that the gas station local to him used to carry race fuel. He didn't mention what type or what octane, but he said it was always non-ethanol race fuel. And that's what he ran in this thing, and he had in it forever until just recently. He said he put some 91, pump gas in it. So, which is what it calls for anyway. Even has it right here. Still got the sticker. That's what I'm saying, man. Everything on this thing is still like, it's got the factory sticker still that tells you what type of fuel to use. I mean, everything is, all the warning labels. It's just so cool. It's so clean in the parts where you would expect wear on a bike with a lot of hours. Like even the foot pegs, they're just a little bit, silvered up, the paint worn off on the top. The back pegs are almost still sharp a little bit. And there's, all the black paint is still intact, just under the edge of the teeth. So it's really good there. Even the rubber on the shifter, that usually will wear out and get flat and smooth, and you'll lose those ridges. This is cracking from dry rotting, but you'll see, if I get that to focus, that is, there's no like wear. It's not worn out, the shift lever. So, I mean, it just tells me that this thing has got pretty low hours, and he was pretty, honest about its use. And that's kind of the impression I got from the guy. There's a lot of goop from the chain lube and stuff like that, just splattered all over, but there's no leaks anywhere. The water pump wasn't leaping anything. Everything looks good. So we'll do all that maintenance stuff. We'll get the battery box put back together. So I got the parts up here. I'll show you. So I'll show you the paperwork that came with it. And here's the battery box piece, and then all the hardware for it. I guess he lost it when he had the batteries out, so he had ordered it all new, and it's all in here, OEM hardware for the battery box, all from Kawasaki. Pretty cool. This is the paperwork that comes with it, like the tags that were hanging on the handlebars. I'm just geeking out over this stuff. I think it's really cool. And then like all the paperwork that you'd get with it, the crating, the checklist, the parts list, how the bike ships that the dealers go through when they uncrate it. That's in there. I got the CD that Kawasaki gave you, safety tips and all that stuff with the book. The owner's manual is like brand new condition almost. His pages aren't yellowed, nothing. Really, really freaking cool. You even got a business card from the sales where you bought it from, which that dealership is still in business. I actually dealt with them. I know the owner there pretty well. So really, really cool stuff. So I'm really looking forward to getting this thing dialed in. Hopefully Rocky Mountain, as usual, gets the stuff out fairly quick. And then this coming weekend, I can get it all tuned up, get the fresh fluids in it, get new air, get the air filter and the spark plug, and go through the bike. And then we can, take it on its first ride. So I got, beyond that, I do have plans for it. Like performance-wise, I want to get it to like running mint factory as you would buy it out of the showroom, which is basically why, another reason I was really wanting to buy this one. Original, not only original owner, but it's untampered. Like it wasn't altered. Like they didn't gut the exhaust. It's still stock muffler, stock airbox. Everything's factory stock on this thing. I mean, it's just so cool. It's like buying it's like a barn find really. And so I'm gonna get it all running nice with the fresh fluids and the tune-up, and replace a couple, the decal and a couple of grommets. And then from there, the next phase after that, we're gonna do we'll do a new set of tires, and we'll do a slip-on exhaust. These from back in the day came with a pretty trick header, from what I understand. They had a titanium header, and you don't really gain a ton of horsepower replacing the headers on these bikes. Most people did a slip-on. I even found some old videos from like CT Racing that did a build on these, and they did a slip-on with a fuel tuner, just like a regular piggyback fuel tuner, and an FCI air intake. That's the biggest power you can make on these, is the air intake is very restrictive. That's the restrictive part of these bikes. The exhaust is pretty good. So I'm just gonna do a slip-on fuel tuner, and eventually we'll do the air intake, the FCI air intake with the box. And this thing will be, at that point, they say it's about 48, 49 horsepower with those mods. You pick up like 4 horsepower almost just doing the air intake on this. That's how restrictive it is. And so we'll do that. And this thing will be a ripper, I think. The shocks aren't leaking, they're all, in really good shape. Everything seems really good. Bushings, wheel bearings, all that stuff. I gave the bike a really good shake and twist, you know, checking on everything. There was nothing, I didn't find anything loose. So that's all really, really good. Overall, I think it's a really, really good find, man. I'm pretty excited to have it. I've never had a 450. Even as a young man, I always had, I had 400s, and I had an LTZ 400. I had Polaris Outlaw 500s, and you know, I had Raptors, and I had some 250s and stuff like that. I always skipped right over all the 450s. I never owned a 450 of any make. And lately, last several months, I've been kind of wanting to get something with like 450 handling, something, you know, slung low, and, you know, can really get after it on. The Raptor's got all the power, but as you know, stock doesn't handle the twisties and the turns and the jumps, all that great. So without widening them. And so I was like, man, it'd be really cool to get a 450, but I did not want to get a Yamaha 450 just because everybody's got one. It's like the Raptors. Everything out there now, because they're the only company that makes them, and God bless them for doing it, but everybody's got YFZs and Raptors. So I wanted to get a more rare 450, something you don't see a lot of. You don't really see a lot of KFXs out there, and something where you can still kind of get parts for it. So out of all the 450s, I didn't want to get a Yamaha for the reasons I stated. I really like the Can-Am DSs, and the Suzuki LTRs. Those are awesome, but they're hard to find parts for the Suzukis. The Can-Ams the DS 450s are virtually impossible to get parts for. And so before I picked this up, I kind of went online and checked, well, of all the major things that could go wrong, you know, fuel pump, injector, you know, things like that. You can even get top end cylinders, everything still in stock, Kawasaki parts. So I was pretty confident in picking it up, considering the history of it and the part availability still. Even if something went wrong, I could still get some parts for it. And so I think this is going to be a really cool bike to own. I'm really anxious to get it out on the trail and just see how it feels. It's definitely a lot lower than the Raptor is, and significantly lighter. The Raptor, as you guys know, if you own a Raptor, you know, I'm older, pushing 50, and I got a bad back. Picking up my Raptor and to stand it up, man, I'd near get a hernia picking that thing up. Usually if I have to stand it up, I'll ask, you know, my wife or one of my kids to help assist, because I don't want to throw out my back. This thing, I didn't bring my ramps, and my ZR2 is pretty tall. I stood it up, walked it in, loaded it in the truck all by myself. I mean, it's like 390 pounds, full of fuel, coolant, and oil, ready to ride. You know, so that's like 30 pounds lighter than the Raptor, and you can feel it. It's crazy with 30 pounds, the difference. But if you pick up on this front bumper, I mean, it's a lot lighter than a Raptor. I mean, one arm, you can pick it up off the ground. So it's going to be really cool. So nice bike, good shape. That's kind of the story. That's why I got it. I kind of stumbled upon this. I wasn't really looking. I was on Marketplace looking for dirt bikes, actually. And I came across this before our Oklahoma dune trip. And I sent it to a couple of the guys, you know, like Pete and Ian. I sent it to those guys. And Pete right away, you know, he likes the sport quad. So he was like, dude, you got to buy it. And I didn't obviously jump on it. The guy was asking a little bit more than I was comfortable paying. Came back from the dune trip, and I just noticed it was still for sale. He came down a couple $100. I ended up picking this thing up. I'll tell you guys what I paid for it. But he was asking originally $52. He then went down to $48. I had asked him if he was negotiable at all. He said a few $100, you know, wiggle room. So I offered him $4. He tried to get $43 out of me. I was like, at $43, I really had to think about it, you know. A couple of minutes later, he said, you know what? He messaged me back. He said, if you really want it, he goes, I promise you the bike is as I described it to you and what I said it is. And if you want to come take a look at it, and I'll take the $4. I've owned it, you know, its whole life. It's time for it to go to a new home. So that's what I did. I drove out there, looked it over, took it for a ride, gave the guy $4,000 and loaded it up. So he had the clean title. I already went to motor vehicle this morning, and we're the day after now picking it up. When I got home last night, it was dark, getting dark. And I already went to motor vehicle, got the title transferred to my name. Got a plate coming for it already. So that is it, man. That's it for this segment of it. Next episode with the Kawasaki, we will do again. We'll have it fully refreshed. You know, with all the goodies we ordered, all the refresh parts, and give it a nice bath and polish. And then we'll take it on its first ride. Hopefully the tires hold air. I think they will. They have a little bit of air in them, and they haven't lost them since I got home yesterday. Definitely needs tires for sure. This one's got a nail in it, a screw in it actually, in the back. But if it wasn't for that, they're actually not that bad. I mean, they probably got about 50% tread left. These things, the stock tires don't really come. Actually, the back tires are pretty hard, like full of air, so they're holding air pretty well. So I think we can at least take it for a ride or two with these before we get a new set of tires. And I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna do with the tires either. If you guys have any suggestions, if you guys know like good companies that make parts still for this thing, like aftermarket wise, popular upgrades to beef it up, or weak points on it that I need to know about, I'm kind of learning still about these. I've done a little bit of research and watched a lot of the old reviews that are on YouTube now from, like, you know, Dirt Wheels and ATV On Demand, and those guys that did some really good reviews on them, ATV Magazine. And so I know quite a bit about the history of them and what they were good at and not good at. They were kind of like an XC, you know, cross-country race 450. They weren't made for motocross track. They were made for cross-country racing. That's why they're a little narrower than some of the other 450s are. And the power curve is a lot different. It's more bottom end torquey than it is really high end like the YFZs are and the LTRs. So these are more got low to mid power. But from what I understand, when you do the air intake and the exhaust, when you open them up, it gives you a lot more broader power range. So anxious to see how that'll be. But if there's anything else I need to know about it, you guys know, please leave a comment. I appreciate you guys watching the video. Hope you guys are going to enjoy the content on this thing. I am super pumped up about it. I think there's going to be plenty of stuff on this. So stay tuned for the future episodes with it. Give you one more look of it. I think it's a really aggressive machine. I'm glad it's a green. That's another thing that drew me to it. You know, if you're going to get a Kawasaki, a classic Kawasaki, you got to get the green one. So part of me wants to leave these warning decals on just for nostalgia, but part of me wants to take them off. So we'll see. I'll probably end up taking them off, in all honesty, because this isn't something I'm going to collect and then get rid of it as a collector piece. I'm going to ride it. You know, I'm gonna as if I bought it in 2008 and build it how I want it, and that's how I'm going to do it. We're going to keep it stock looking. I'm not going to change the look of it, but we're going to do some of the performance goodies and a few little odds and ends just to make it my own. And that's it for now, guys. So again, smash that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't. Stay tuned for more on this. We got a whole garage full of goodies now. That something's got to go here. So if you guys want to make me some offers, you know, take a look at what we got here. You want to offer anything? You know, that for sure, that Raptor 350 is going for sale. That's an 06 Raptor 350. It's all original. I picked that up for my daughter 3 years ago. I've owned it. It's barely been ridden since we had it. She rides it a couple times a year. It runs perfect, starts up every time, runs good. That's definitely for sale. So if you guys, anybody interested in a Raptor 350, hit me up. And we may sell something else. I don't know. We'll see. But got to make a little room, and I got some other ideas. I got some other coals in the fire, so to speak. Got some other things. Some wheels are turning in Joe's head. So we'll see. Might revamp the lineup a little bit. None of the new stuff that we got recently. It's not going to go anywhere, but we may revamp the ATV lineup. We will see what happens. But again, I don't want to keep droning. We'll see you on the next episode, guys. Appreciate you watching.